Running Sentences presents a short story, Ghosts of the Past. Jason had spent the last few nights cold and feeling all alone. It had been a month since his wife had passed away, and depression and loneliness had swept over him, leaving him not wanting to get out of bed. This story is written and narrated by Michael Hunnery. This is a work of fiction. Any names, characters, businesses, events, situations within this story are products of the author's imagination. Any resemblance to real people, real situations, events, characters, businesses, and/or fictional ones is purely coincidental. Copyright 2023, Michael Hunnery. All rights reserved. Jason wrapped himself deeper under the covers, trying to keep warm in the cold night. The heat had been turned up since it was cold winter months, but that seemed to have little effect on the coldness. The past few days, it felt like nights were getting colder and colder, despite the fact that it wasn't that bad outside. 40 degrees Fahrenheit out, yet so much colder in this little bedroom. The emptiness around him felt so much louder than he'd been so used to, and being able to curl up with his wife. Not that he did that much. She tended to give off heat and hoard the blankets, which was unfortunate, but it was what he was used to. A swirl of coldness even came out in his breath, in wisps of steam that soon vanished. The wish for sleep was strong, but no matter how many times he shut his eyes, his mind told him to open them up again. Finally, he sat up tiredly and looked about as he tried to collect the covers so that they would stay around him and keep him warm. His room wasn't entirely dark thanks to the glow of a nearby salt lamp, which shone about the space and gave the room an eerie glow. There was nothing there that he could see that was keeping him awake, though there was the feeling of something as his gaze continued to shift around the white walls of the room. They'd always meant to paint it a different color, but there never had been any time for such things. A pang of regret surged through him at that thought. So many similar memories of wanting to do things, but work or other things always getting in the way. There was no time, then it was all gone. "Hello," he said. "I feel like someone is there. If you are, then, take whatever it is you're after and leave me alone. I don't have anything worth taking in the first place. Take what you will." There was a silence, and what felt like a cold breeze went past him, which made him shiver even under these covers. Involuntarily, he pulled them even harder and closer to him, though they were supposed to keep him warm. It wasn't working. He found himself questioning everything, since his mind just felt a bit off and weird, like something was there but not there. There was no rhyme or reason to why the things were this way, unless... "Hello? Is that you, Bunny?" As the words left his mouth, he winced, reminding himself that she'd never liked that nickname, but put up with it for his sake. Another pang of sorrow and regret, of constantly meaning to change it, but it was hard to break old habits. He didn't expect an answer from the thin air. His wife had been dead for a month now, and of course she wasn't going to come back as a ghost. No, that was silly. She was free of him, so why would she ever return to this place even if she could? And there was always that feeling in the back of his mind that she in fact hated being around here. The shadows of wisps of what appeared to be clouds from his breath were amassed near the closed door that would lead out into the hallway. It drew his attention as it seemed to move, and a gasp escaped from Jason. The wisps of hot but now cold air drifted off towards it, soon vanishing before he could trace it all the way there, but then reforming into this sort of thing. Words wanted to come out of Jason's mouth, but he kept stumbling over them as he tried to say anything. Was this Bo, his wife? It couldn't be. Ghosts weren't real. But there were all those stories of people seeing their loved ones in dreams and talking to them through mediums and such. He couldn't buy it that this was his wife, and at the same time he so desperately wanted to reach out and say something. "I'm sorry," he managed. The wisps of smoke that were by the door appeared to stay there, not moving, not doing anything really. Jason wasn't sure what to expect, and he felt his heart was about to run away at a mile a minute if he didn't say something further. You spent so much of your life here. I know you didn't like it, but you stuck through it. When you should have gotten out. I'm not a great person. I know that. I only wanted the best for you, but I could never give it. My life, my ways, my problems always seem to cause more harm for you than good. It was a sputtering of words, spilling out without control as tears began to fall. This was not what he had wanted, and his emotions were jumbled up, and he felt like weird knots in his mind were just crowding around everything and fogging it up. He waited for any signs of movement from it to recognize that he had said something. It, whatever it was, stayed in the spot, a sort of blob, humanoid, and a bit like his wife, he figured. That didn't seem like enough to make him believe it was her, but the feeling to spill all he'd held so dear that last couple of months. Are you my wife? He asked this hesitantly. There was no expectation of an answer, and none appeared to be coming from this thing. The room did have a suddenly colder feeling, though, which was something as he huddled under these covers. Jason's mind was trying to figure out what to do next. Confess all of his sorrows? Stand up and get close to this wisp? What if it all ran away when he got up? This might be his only a chance to apologize for his past behavior and inabilities to do or be a good husband. Listen, he said. I need to say that you should have had better than me in your life. We had great times, sometimes, but I was always pulling you down and away from chasing your dreams. I mean, not literally, I don't think. No, I just the way life played out, and we both got busy with work and trying to survive, and you never got to do what you wanted to. His words were trailing away as he fought back more tears. It felt so unfair, so cruel to have to do this. It should be his wife that was on the receiving end of these words. Yet here he was, speaking to a cloud or wisps of air or something. I want to say sorry for all of this, for this life I led you to leave, and when you could have had so much more. The room had suddenly felt very frozen and icy, which hit Jason with a bit of a sucker punch, sending out more gasps of air from under the covers. He looked about at the image that had been near the door. This wisp of a thing was gone, and the coldness began to fade. There was almost a bit of warmth that seemed to enter the room. It was like a hug that came through and behind him and tucked itself deep under the covers. You have nothing to apologize for. We chose this life. We live what we have. There is nothing to regret. A soft voice said, or sounded like it said, in the back of his ear. Things then went quiet, and the cold now gone. All Jason wanted to do was sleep. And with things feeling somewhat good, he laid his head down, letting everything go. And for at least now, he went to sleep. The end of Ghosts of the Past. Thank you for listening.